What is up, everybody? Archentry here with my thoughts on E3. This is probably going to be a multi-part video, so you guys don't have to watch 30 minutes plus of me talking. So cut up into different studios. So for this video, I'll talk about EA, Microsoft, and Bethesda. A little disclaimer: I want to talk about the things that I cared about, things that caught my attention, not every single thing that happened or was talked about at each of these conferences. So to start things off, EA gave us a little more detail on Battlefield 5 and announced that the game will indeed have a battle royale mode, which, as I expected, a lot of people, they bashed it. A lot of people, they're okay with it. But again, there's some people who are hypocritical about it, and people who bash Call of Duty having battle royale. They like Battlefield 5 having battle royale. But to me, as I said before and said it again, until you play battle royale of Call of Duty, battle royale of Battlefield 5, you can't really talk about, if it's good or bad for the game. For all we know, both of these games are going to have great battle royale modes. For all we know, they're going to be better than Fortnite and PUBG together. So who knows what to expect when it comes to these. I'm not mad about it, and people are like, oh my god, battle royale, I'm so sick of battle royale. I'm okay with it. I'm interested to see how it will play in both those games, Battlefield 5 and Black Ops 4. EA really didn't show up any gameplay Battlefield 5. They showed the same trailers over and over again, which isn't a surprise. EA being a multi-platform company, they were going to show off their game majority at other people conferences like Microsoft and Sony's conference, as well as just post it on YouTube through like other sites. Like they had Nvidia post a full Grand Operations gameplay on their YouTube channel. So you will see Battlefield 5 that way instead of on their keynote. At the Battlefield 5 announcement, they talked about FIFA 19 in its edition of Champions League, which is a big deal if you play soccer games like I do. PES had the rights to the Champions League, and because of that, a lot of people would pick PES over FIFA. Now that FIFA has Champions League, that makes this the best soccer experience in gaming. PES, you're just dead now. There's no reason to play PES. If you like the way the game plays, then I guess that's that. But in terms of content, in terms of experience, FIFA is now the best soccer experience that you can possibly get in any soccer video game. They announced the journey will return for FIFA 19, which is a cinematic single player game for those who don't know. I'm glad it's here. I enjoyed the journey in FIFA 17 and FIFA 18. It could be better, obviously. I think that you should be able to create your own character and not play as their default character, but that's a different discussion for a different day. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big soccer guy. I love FIFA. I love I love sport games in general, but FIFA to me is the most fun sport game that you can possibly play. In addition to a Champions League, makes it even better of an experience to enjoy. Then they announced Play Anywhere, which is just something Xbox has been doing with their Xbox games and Windows Play Anywhere. Now with EA, you can do the exact same. Consoles, Origins come together. So you don't have to buy the same game multiple times. So you can play it on PC and your console. You can also play Origins games on your mobile device as well, your laptop. So it's literally just Play Anywhere. You buy the game once, you can play it on all your devices. Respawn announced their Star Wars game, which is called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It takes place during the time between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, so think Force Unleashed kind of time period. We'll be playing as a Padawan who survived Order 66. At this time, Darth Vader and the Empire are hunting down any remains of the Jedi and trying to kill. So you're trying to survive during this time period of just the Jedi being killed off entirely. That's really all we know about the game. It's a single player only. We don't know. Is it multiplayer? Who knows? If it's light kind of game, who knows? There's no gameplay, no screenshots. But Respawn did say that they're aiming for 2019 winter release. So that's what we know about their Star Wars game. Who knows what else is going to be other than the time period, the name, and the fact that we're playing as a Jedi. They announced some new things for Battlefront 2, which I'm looking forward to. They are adding Clone Wars and its heroes, so Anakin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Grievous will be added to the game. They recently added skins for the new Solo movie, so you get to play as the younger Han Solo, you get to play as Donald Glover's character as Lando Calrissian. So yes, I guess in a way you're playing as Childish Gambino in a Star Wars game. Unravel 2 was also announced today, but not only was it announced, it was also released during EA's conference, which is weird. You don't really see that happen a lot where a game is announced and then released. So they announced Unravel 2, released it. I haven't finished the first game, but I did enjoy what I did play of it. It was a good game, and I do plan on grabbing the sequel at some point. It will have co-op, so this is going to be Unravel 2 with also a friend. So you can do it solo as well, but you can also do it with a friend, which is good. It's always good to be able to play a game with your friend. This is an interesting game to be able to experience with another player is going to, heighten the dynamic of how the game plays. We have another player with you, but at the same time, you can still have that same single player experience that you had in the first game. It's not really a huge game for EA, but I like it. I think it's a pretty interesting game. I think it's a pretty cool game, so I'm looking forward to this sequel as well. Lastly, for EA, they're showing off actual gameplay for Anthem. It went in detail with what's going on, what kind of game are we expecting to happen, how the game plays, details on each individual javelin that you can play as. In my opinion, it looks like Mass Effect meets Destiny meets Monster Hunter. Yes, you heard that right. It looks like those three games came together and birthed Anthem. Like they just had a fusion or an orgy or whatever, and Anthem was the outcome of that combination of those three games: Andromeda, Destiny, and Monster Hunter. It looks super good. I can't wait for it. I love the gameplay they showed off and the characters they showed off. The Storm and Ranger looks amazing. If there's any characters that I would default playing as, it'd be the Storm. Looks amazing. That character looks like an insane class to play as. All the javelins look cool, but that's the one that stood out to me the most. The gameplay looked phenomenal. Like I said, it looks like, just imagine Mass Effect Andromeda, but in Monster Hunter's world with the Destiny kind of style of multiplayer. And speaking of that, there won't be any actual multiplayer in terms of PvP. It's all gonna be PvE at launch. And maybe they'll add some PvP kind of stuff after launch, but at launch it's gonna be PvE only kind of multiplayer. The graphics are phenomenal. They also announced there's microtransactions, but it's not going to be, pay to win kind of stuff. It's not going to be loot boxes. It's not going to be RNG. It's going to be cosmetic only, and you'll be able to buy what you want. Think of Warframe cosmetic microtransactions. In Warframe, you can go to Marketplace. You can see what they have in the Marketplace, and then just pick what you want and buy it. So something like that. It's going to be something like that where you don't have to worry about RNG bullshit. You just go, if you want to get whatever cosmetic piece you want to get, you can go ahead and go there and then buy it that way. So not really a big deal. I think I always thought that was a great thing that Warframe did. So I think all games should follow that. Instead of doing RNG, let you be able to just buy what you want instead of, hoping that a random roll will give you something that you would actually want. Overall, I think EA's conference was decent. It wasn't anything special. It was by the book. EA, by their formula, they had a PR moment where they talked about, how much they care about gamers and improving the company standing with gamers and joining charities and things like that. They were voted the worst company in gaming, so they're trying to, give themselves some good press to say, hey, we're not as bad as people keep voting us to be. We're trying to get better. We're trying to improve ourselves. And that's cool that they did that. I guess I don't know if you use EA to have that kind of not EA. I don't know if you would have E3 to be that moment for you to say all those kind of things. But it's cool, whatever. If I had to give EA a grade, it would be a C+ maybe. It was a decent conference. It wasn't anything special. It was by the book EA. Moving on to Xbox conference, they announced that they would have 18 exclusives. I didn't count, but they did seem to have majority console launch exclusives, meaning those games were going to be Xbox first for like a year or two and then get on PS4. I don't really care about console launch exclusives. I know a lot of people, Xbox needs exclusives, and I think to them, they're thinking that just means anything that's going to be on Xbox for a full year or two, and people would not care anymore. I don't care about console launch exclusives. You need to have actual exclusives, which is not a huge deal. Xbox has never been a huge exclusive kind of thing. Even 360 wasn't a huge exclusives platform. People kind of forget about that because everyone likes to hate on Xbox One and forget that on 360 it wasn't a huge exclusive kind of place to be. It was always a multi-platform company, always a multi-platform platform. If that is the case, then the ending of the teaser was a huge deal, as this shows Master Chief putting an AI into his helmet. So either he gets a new AI or him and Cortana are reuniting. No gameplay, just a teaser trailer, so we likely won't see anything from this game until next E3, with more details coming out between then and now on what it could be. I love Halo, my favorite game of all time, so I'm amped for it. I can't wait for it, especially if this is Halo 6 and it's reuniting Halo. It's gonna reunite Master Chief and Cortana in this game. Curious how it'll play out. Curious how what happened after the end of Halo 5 and what it leads into this, and so on in the future of Halo franchise as a whole. And showed off the new Ori sequel, which if you've been on the channel for a while, I love the first Ori game. It's one of my favorite games to come out on Xbox One. It's a very underappreciated Xbox exclusive. People always talk about Halo, Crackdown, Forza, Gears, etc., but no one ever talks about Ori when it comes to Xbox exclusives. It's an amazing game with the most beautiful art design I have ever seen in a game, and I cannot wait for the sequel. It's going to be phenomenal. Then we finally got to see From Software's next game leading up to E3. They kept teasing the name Shadows Die Twice, and the Soulsborne fans have been talking about what it could be, guessing what it could be, and it's just been what is this game that they're talking about? What is Shadows Die Twice? It's this game, a feudal Japan Dark Souls, basically called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It looks amazing. Yes, it's basically Dark Souls in a new skin, but it looks amazing. This could be even better than Dark Souls, in my opinion, because it's something new. Dark Souls has always been, from Demon Souls to Dark Souls 3, it's always been the same evil kind of timeline. Kind of what made Bloodborne special was the fact that Bloodborne was a different kind of experience. It was a different a look, different skin. It wasn't the same medieval kind of thing. Same thing here. Feudal Japan kind of theme, feudal Japan skin, new experience. I can't wait for this game. It looks amazing. It's going to be a great game. We then got some Crackdown 3 fun with a release date as well. It's been getting delayed a lot, so a lot of people wonder if it was going to come out, if it's going to get canceled. But right now, it's coming out in early 2019. So I honestly think that it was going to come out this year, but it got delayed to avoid competing with this fall's release launch, which makes a lot of sense. People tend to just when a game gets delayed, there's two reasons. One is getting delayed to get polished. Another one is marketing. When you delay a game, you're trying to avoid competing with certain games. Make more money for yourself if you have it come out in this month instead of that month, or this time period between a season versus that season. In the season that this game would have came out, if it launched this year, it would be competing with Tomb Raider, Red Dead, Battlefield, and Call of Duty. Now, if you're a company, it makes a lot more sense to avoid those games and release next year than releasing right after those games or between those games. Again, a game I forgot to mention, Fallout 76 is coming out this year as well. So this game would have competed with Fallout as well as freaking Red Dead, Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Tomb Raider. So to me, it makes sense to delay it out of 2018 so you can have a better chance at cashing in on gamers. They showed some Metro Exodus, which is amazing. I love the Metro series, looking forward to it. The Metro franchise is by far the biggest hidden gem in all of gaming. If you haven't played the Metro series, you are missing out. Amazing storytelling and a body of a survival FPS. This game is going to be phenomenal, like the legit AJ Styles, phenomenal, everything like that. It's going to be a great game. Metro is great. It's also based off of a book, so if you're into reading, you can also read the Metro books. What this game does, it follow to the T. The next thing they announced was the big news, which is the acquisition of first-party studios, meaning they bought 5 developer studios to make exclusive content. So everyone talking about Xbox needs more exclusives. This is the announcement that you should be paying attention to, because it's them telling you we are going to be making a lot more exclusives. They bought 5 new companies that are going to make first-party games in the future for Xbox. They're not coming out this year, but next year and the years following that, Xbox will have a lot more exclusives as they bought these developers to make those exclusives. So some of the developers that they bought are Playground Games. Not a big of a deal. They made the Forza Horizon games, which are already exclusive to Xbox. They bought Undead Labs, also not a big deal. They made State of Decay, also an Xbox exclusive. They bought Compulsion Games, which is the brains behind the new game We Happy Few. They bought Ninja Theory, which is the people who made Heavily Sword, which is a PS3 exclusive, and Hellblade, which is their most recent game that came out a few months ago. What this means is more first-party games in the future. That's what it means. It doesn't mean anything else other than Xbox is going to have more exclusives, which is a huge deal for a lot of people, because a lot of people are saying they don't like Xbox because there's no first-party games other than the usual traditional Halo, Gears of War, Forza, etc. Xbox has never had anything other than those games, even though there are smaller names out there that are exclusive to Xbox, like the Forza Horizon series, State of Decay, and so on. But these 5 studios being added to Xbox means they're going to actually be coming out with even more exclusives, which is a good thing. It might not be a huge amount of exclusive, but it's still be more exclusives, which is all that matters, is that they're going to have more exclusives. They announced Division 2 and its beta. I signed up for that immediately as they announced it, which I should have just waited because it kept crashing like crazy, because a lot of people trying to sign up for the beta. Should be expected. It's a very popular game, even though Division 1 was bashed to hell. It's still a very popular game. A lot of people wanted to sign up for the beta. Eventually I did be able to sign up, but if you didn't be able to sign up, try again today maybe, because yesterday I was busy as hell and the site kept crashing. I'm looking forward to it. Now I think the release is next spring or February. I like the first game. This game takes place in Washington DC. You're trying to prevent a civil war, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to experience the beta whenever that comes out. Then we got Devil May Cry 5, a direct sequel to Devil May Cry 4, not a part of that remake DMC game from way back when. Go back to the original series. Original Dante is back, so is Nero. Cannot wait for this game. This is going to be fun. To me, this was one of the biggest announcements at E3 thus far was Devil May Cry 5. It looks phenomenal. I can't wait for it. It could have been just been a trailer for cinematic, it might have not been gameplay at all. So either way, Devil May Cry games are always fun. They're always, they're not Skyrim, they're not Mass Effect, they're not Halo. They're that mindless fun kind of game where you're just going around hack and slashing, whooping some ass, one-liners all over the place, rock music in the background, just head bobbing, just going crazy. Can't wait for it. It's gonna be fun. I would say though, Xbox showed off a lot of indie games, and I know there's a huge crowd of indie games. People love indie games. I felt like Xbox shouldn't have showed them. I don't really care about indie games. And that's just me. This is all my opinion. This entire video is all my opinion. I don't really care about indie games. So this to me was a low point of the conference. I was interested right at that point of the segment when they started talking about indie games. I just don't like them, so I don't really care about all the indie games that they announced. But then I got sucked back into the announcement of the most mind-blowing game that they could possibly announce in the history of video gaming. Jump Force, an anime mashup fighting game with Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, and fucking Death Note. Mother effing Death Note is going to be in this game. Now there may be some more animes coming. Those are just the ones that they showed off in the trailer. Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, and Death Note. Those are this is huge. Jump Force is going to be an amazing game just because of what's going to be in it. It's a fighting game with our favorite anime characters. That's mind blowing. Now I will say, the funny thing is my bro, not my real brother, but bro, you said a prophecy. He said it years ago that there should be a fighting game with all the animes combined, and we're finally getting that. I'm so excited. This is my part. When they announced this and they showed the trailer for it, I was on the edge of my seat, going balls to the wall. I was going insane in the freaking party I was in. It looks amazing. I can't wait for this game to come out. It's motherfucking Light Yagami in the damn game. Think about that. You get to play as freaking Light Yagami. Then we finally got to see the exclusive of the night, Gears of War 5. We playing as Kate, and this shit's about to get real. This is going to be the most important game, Gears of War wise, when it comes to lore. For those that don't know, the Locust Queen is always a human, but not only that, the Locust Queen always comes from one family line. That family line being Kate's family line. In Gears of War 4, he tried to save her mom from becoming the next Locust Queen. Now the Locusts want Kate to be the Locust Queen. She's having visions and dreams about the Locusts. We're getting new characters. Marcus is back. JD's a douchebag. A new enemy type that's basically looks like the Gears of War version of the Halo Flood. I cannot wait for this game. As Bart Scott once said, can't wait. This game looks phenomenal. I love Gears of War. It's one of the best games that I've ever played. I know people have a weird hatred towards Gears of War. I don't care. I love Gears of War. I love Kate. I think she was the best character in Gears of War 4. So I'm glad that they bring her back as the main focus of Gears of War 5. And again, lore wise, this is going to be the most important Gears of War game for lore. They ended the conference with a cinematic trailer for CD Projekt Red, aka the greatest developer of all time, new game, Cyberpunk 2077. It looks good, but we definitely need to see more of it. There's been a lot of hype around this game. Is the game following the success of Witcher 3? So because of how successful Witcher 3 was, this game has a lot of attention on it. Witcher 3 is considered one of the best RPGs of all time. So Cyberpunk has a lot to live up to. It looks like it's going to be a shooter, maybe like a third-person shooter, who knows. One of my friends is more excited for this game than anybody else I've seen any of the game that showed off. This game got his attention. Considering who made it, I know it will be an amazing game. So overall, I thought the conference was exciting. I smiled a lot, laughed a lot, was getting hype a lot. I'm getting hyped doing this video. Like my voice is getting higher up. I'm starting to freaking talk faster. Like thinking about the games that they showed at this conference, it just makes me excited. Now I was fine, I was laughing. I was just getting hype. The majority of these games are multi-platform, but there are exclusives like Halo or Gears of War and Crackdown. Those are the big exclusives they talked about, and that is, I will say, again, the biggest negatives are the indie games and multi-platform. I don't like indie games, so I don't really care about it. So that's why it's a negative. Multi-platforms, Xbox has always been a multi-platform company and platform. So obviously they're going to show off a lot of multi-platform games, but I can see why people will be like, oh, all the best games they showed were on PS4, PC, and Xbox, not just Xbox. But I had fun. I enjoyed the conference. The whole point is to enjoy the conference, and I loved it. So as a grade, I'll give it an A-. Lastly, the show we'll be talking about in this video, the Bethesda Showcase, and my god, was it boring. By far the most boring E3 conference I've ever seen in my entire life. Starting off with the Enter WK performance, Enter WK hasn't been seen since Viva La Bam was still a thing. It was boring, and it was boring and uninteresting. The crowd wasn't even into the performance at all. You know, it was for Rage 2, a game I don't really care for. The presenters for Rage 2 was a bit cringy, and the gameplay just looks like Borderlands with no soul. They announced a sequel for Doom, which is cool. Doom is always a cool game, no matter what year it is, what time we're in. Doom is always awesome. You know, still the presenters were a bit boring, and it felt like they could have had more energy for a game like Doom. No, when I saw this conference, when I say this conference is boring, there was people in the crowd legit falling asleep. Like, I'm not exaggerating. There are people in the crowd falling asleep during Bethesda's conference. You know, if you didn't watch it, there was a number of people just dozing off. Some people were legit asleep. A lot of yawning. A lot of just people who didn't look interested. They just looked bored. The conference was so boring. I was in a party with five friends, and everybody in the party was bored. One person cut off the conference and started reading a book. That's how boring it was. It made someone read a book. You know, we're getting a new Wolfenstein game, kind of similar to the Old Blood, but this one's a smaller game. You know, we'll be playing as BJ's daughters in this game. It's called Young Blood. Wolfenstein, much like Doom, is always going to be cool and playable. So I'm with this. I'm fine with this game. Wolfenstein, Doom, great games, gonna be fun. I'm buying it. Then we finally got more information on Fallout 76, which is basically a prequel to the other Fallout games. It's the first vault to open. It will be an open world online survival game, so think Fallout meets DayZ. You and 4 friends exploring West Virginia, as well as there's other players in the area. If they want to, they can engage you in combat, or if you want to, you can engage them in combat, or y'all can be nice to each other and just trade as a group, do missions together as a group. You know, it's kind of things like that. You can just, just as you're playing like DayZ or any kind of like open world survival game, you can see other players running around, and if they want to, they can just start shooting at you and kill you, and vice versa. Or y'all can just be like, hey, I saw there's just like a big boss over there. We're gonna go deal with that. You can do that. Interesting looking game. I guess it will be okay. It looks like it's a Fallout 4 expansion pack. It's not actual new game. Just based off the visuals of it, just looks like a Fallout 4 expansion. I guess it's cool. I don't think it's a game I would spend $60 on. I'm not a huge Fallout guy in general, so since this comes out, a month after Red Dead, Call of Duty, and Battlefield, I don't know how much time I'll put into it. Much like the rest of the conference, the presenters for this game was also boring. They then announced Elder Scrolls game for mobile. Yay, I guess. I don't know who wanted that. I don't know who was directed towards. I don't know who asked for it. I don't get why it exists. Low point of the show for me was, this whole Elder Scrolls segment. They had the guy from Key and Peele do some kind of little skit, and it was just boring and not funny at all. A big issue I have with this conference was its bad attempt at humor. They were trying so hard and it just was not funny. Lastly, they announced 2 games coming with the next generation of consoles, which I suppose means these 2 games are not coming for Xbox One or PS4, but PS5 or whatever they're going to call the next Xbox. Those games being a brand new IP called Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. We saw nothing on either of those games other than their names, no details on where we're going to Elder Scrolls 6, nothing. Overall, I say Bethesda Showcase was a D-. It was boring as hell and put me in a bad mood. I was so amped after the Xbox conference. Bethesda conference just killed my soul. Like, I was so happy from Xbox. Bethesda, I was just like, okay, who cares? Big deal, what they do. I'm so bored. I'm going to bed. That's basically what it was for the Bethesda conference. But that's it for today's video. I'll hit you guys up Wednesday with my thoughts on Ubisoft, Sony, and Square Enix conferences. Then on Friday, I'll talk about my overall opinion of E3 2018 as a whole. So with all that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.